I'm a real streamer now. I have a stream light so you could see me better. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? I can be a real content creator now, everybody. I'm gonna call my mom and see if she's proud of me for my streamer light. And as far as I can tell, I've got, well, there's no reflection in my glasses unless I look up at the light, so that's good. Anyway, we don't need to talk about the light for the whole stream, but it should be nicer. You should be able to see me a lot better. Anyway, we're going to be working on the unlock tree some more. I was working on it again last night and made some pretty good progress. There's a bunch of weird things going on. I don't know how far I want to take overhauling the existing unlock code, or if I just want to kind of shoehorn the unlock tree in, but we'll figure that out. We'll see how it goes. I think maybe today's stream will mostly just be focused on getting the things actually unlocked when I click on them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, Alchemortis is available for wish listing. So head on over to the Steam page. Give it a wish list if you're interested. It's a dark fantasy roguelite auto battler where you can create your own builds and synergies using alchemy. You can also support the game on Patreon. If you subscribe at the top tier for at least 1 month, I will send you a Steam key for the full game when the game releases, and your name will be put in the in-game Alchemortis credits. So if that sounds great to you, definitely consider that. And you can also purchase my Udemy courses. These will teach you how to build complete games in the Godot engine. And also that's a great way of supporting me as well. Okay. Hello, Clickertail. Welcome. Hello, Emerson. G. Whittington, good morning. You look good. Thank you. Now do the TikTok dances. I don't think you want to see that. Welcome, Monkey Software, by the way. Yeah, I got the... Look, here's what it looks like without the light, right? It's not that great. It's a perfect day for it, too, because it's like super overcast and there's not nearly as much light coming in through my window here. Okay. Let's take a look at what I've got. So if I proceed with this new unlock system, remember, we're just like prototyping this. So if I proceed with this new unlock system, there's a couple of UX things that I'm going to need to consider. But so I've got this in here. These are not connected to each other in any meaningful way right now, but if I go to my unlock tree, you can see that these are kind of connected like this. So we've got this connected to that one, connected to that one. So this is the dependency chain, and I've put in place some code that prevents clicking on an unlock item if you have not yet unlocked the dependency. So if I click this one, that one becomes unlocked, I believe. Oh, and I spent my only unlock point. So I've got unlock points and everything. I spent my only unlock point, and now I can't unlock anything else. But if I look at, let's see, one of these challenges here. 500 fire stacks in a single combat encounter. So if I add a skeleton mage and I put this here, we'll just skip through this. Okay, so we'll just apply some fire, auto resolve that. I should have another skill point now, which I can't spend here, so I have to, let's see. Let's just abandon the run. This game is looking pretty good now with all those panels changed, if I do say so myself. Okay, so we go back to the menu, go to unlocks. I should be able to unlock another one. Yeah, so now I've got another point, so I can unlock that one. So yeah, there's nothing interesting happening here visually, but the code is working. So I have the ability of defining the relationship between the unlock items in the tree and also granting points to the player to spend. And that's where we're at. Your Steam artwork thumbnail is amazing. Did you draw it? I did not draw it, but we did, me and the publisher. It was mostly at the publisher's direction. They hired an artist to do it, a very talented artist, and it turned out great. It turned out great. I'm very happy with it. Welcome, by the way, Watu. So here's what I want to do. I need to get things actually unlocking when I click on things. So let's look at the unlock tree item. So on clicked, unlocked tree item IDs add unlock resource ID. So I think what I need is I need an unlocks manager. Can I do, let's see here. Update unlock state. I'm gonna need to redo a lot of this stuff if I go down this road, but for testing purposes, let's just do public void unlock unlock definition resource dot. How do I actually do this? I forgot how to actually unlock something. That's not it. Oh, set as unlocked. Oh, is that what I need to do? Set as unlocked. I think that's what I need to do. Character unlock model. Okay. Right. So we want to do set as, okay. So unlock definition resource, set as unlocked. This is a mess. But I also want to do this. We'll add that to the tree items, unlock definition resource.id. So unlocks manager dot set resource as unlocked. Unlock definition resource, emit signal unlocked. Okay. So that should actually save that. And then can I do data initializer.save? That will actually run the save, persist that to the save file. So let's see if that even works. So what I should see, if this works correctly, is I can go into the unlocks menu. Let's go to the artifacts. So I do not have the cloak unlocked. If I click on this item, I should see the cloak unlocked now. There it is, cloak. So that works. And then if I go to my save file, I should see some things in the save data. Unlocked tree item IDs, artifact cloak. And then we also have these completed artifact unlock conditions. So what this means is that, so the way that I'm structuring this is we've got the unlock conditions. So these are like the challenges. So let's say I have a challenge that's apply 20,000 poison total, right? Once you complete that challenge, that will get added into this list. And that corresponds to having an unlock point. And then you can use the unlock point to unlock the tree items. And as the tree items get unlocked, they go into this list. And so the way that I know how many points that I have is I essentially say, how many unlocked conditions do I have in here, and how many do I have in here, right? I take this number minus this number, and that's how many points I have available to spend. So I've got 1 point remaining, so I could actually unlock another thing here. So if I click that, what I should see is my save file should have updated. Yeah, so I unlocked an extra thing. Now I have 0 points remaining, which means that if I click this one, it won't work. And what I should see is I have the Coals artifact unlocked now. So I should be able to go down. Yep, there's the cloak and there's the Coals. So I unlocked those from the unlock tree. So that is working. So those things are marked as unlocked now. Now the thing that's a little bit confusing is that the challenges is what I'm calling them are tied to this unlock definition resource, which also defines what gets unlocked. So it's kind of weird. The challenges are like coupled to an item that gets unlocked, but that's no longer the case with the unlock tree. So what I'd want to do in the future is, so in here, this check condition, what I wanted to do in the future probably is just decouple these challenges from that. How do you track progress and write it into the save file? It's just using JSON. So this is my save model. Save model in the case of C#, if you want to go from C# to JSON, you can use system.text.json. And there's a bunch of ways of annotating your various properties in here. Oh, excuse me. There's various ways of annotating different properties with your JSON property names. And then C# supports like deserialization and serialization of lots of different data types. You can define your own serializers and deserializers as well, but for all the basic types, lists and int and strings and all that good stuff, it knows how to deserialize and serialize those things. And so you basically just define your save model as a class with these JSON property names if you want to. It will infer the property name from the C# property name. I just like to define the property name explicitly because there could be a situation where I rename one of these, and if I renamed one of these without explicitly defining what the property name is in the JSON file, then that would break the saves, right? So I want to make this as robust as possible, where if I go and I like automatically rename that it's not going to break, that it's still going to be reading from the unlock model property in the save file. But you could have sub objects too. So I've got my save model, then I've got my unlock model. This contains more properties, so on and so forth. And then in my alchemortis.json, we can see that this overall structure is the save model, but then we can look at the unlock model, and there's my unlock model object with everything in there. So it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty straightforward, and actually these could be a hash set too. Anyway. So I think the thing to do is just to build this out some more. Trying to think, is that the best thing to do next? I'm trying very hard not to go down a rabbit hole with art here, because I have a pretty cool idea of how I want these things to be connected. But I'm also gonna need icons. Now here's the thing. Did I make this big enough? I'm trying to decide what I want to do with the icon. So we've got the frame. Let me think about this. Let me just try something here. Add sprite 2D. I think I made this big enough that it can support basically any of the icons here. So if I go to this sprite 2D and paste that in there. Ooh, beautiful. So I could literally just use the artifact. In the case of the artifact, I can use that as the icon. Yeah. In the case of the artifact, I could use that as the icon. What other things can I unlock? Cards and characters. So let me do this. Let me think about this. If I put another control node in here, and I made this why does that seem wrong to me? Is this not square? What? Okay, anyway, we'll put this, let's just instantiate character lich. Okay. I have no idea if that's going to be good or not. That's pretty cool. I'm just trying to figure out, like, is there an easy way that I can represent what's being unlocked as part of this? Like, could I just pull in the art from whatever's being unlocked and just show it in there? The other question too is, how much do I show? How much do I show players? Like, do I show all of the unlocks and what will be unlocked, and then do I just let the player path to it, or do I show little locked icons? Because I don't know, it might not be a good idea to reveal. Might not be a good idea to reveal the characters. Or I could show the character art and then just be like, new character, and not really say what the character does. Art rabbit hole, just satisfying to watch. And aside, the stubble is working for you. Thank you. My wife would disagree with you, but that's okay. That's okay. So I think what I'll do for now at least is anytime I need an icon, I think I'll just try to derive the icon from whatever the unlock resource is, and I'll place it in there. Because what I can do is I could also, for example, like if it's a card pack, right? I can do add child node sprite 2D, put the sprite 2D in here, and then if it's like the deep sea pack or whatever, we put the squid in here, turn the offset off. I will have to like figure out how to actually orient those things. But that may be something that's not too much of a hassle to define in the resource itself. But yeah, it would be nice, like if I have a bunch of these unlock tree items, it would be nice not to have to draw unique icons for all those. Okay, this is annoying me. We got to turn this mouse filter off. So yeah, I mean, I might as well just derive the icons from whatever's being unlocked. I think that will work. Usually as a player, I'm often let down when I can see the unlocks up front. Just the character art for the unlocks seems right. Okay, yeah, that's what I might do then. I might show the icons. I'll show the icons and then, but not describe like what it is. So you can kind of like get a sense for what it is, but lock icon is good, hidden items is good. I think the lich inside the portrait, I like the lich inside the portrait already, and stubble is a kiss repellent for sure. So let's see. I'm often let down when I can see the unlocks up front. Just the character art. Yeah, I mean, that's something we could figure out too. Like, I don't need to think about it now. I'm mostly just trying to plan ahead and think about at least keep in mind all the things that I need to think about so that I'm not like doing anything that's going to make potential future work more difficult, if that makes sense. Like, it's just a good idea to have in the front of your mind everything that could happen. So I had a really cool idea for the connections here, which I may have to actually redraw this. Just orient it that way. Clean this up. So my idea for the connections between the things is to have these like thorns. These twisting thorns. But then my idea was that I could do some kind of shader. These need to be tileable as well. I don't know if that's going to be tileable. Probably not. I may have to adjust this side. But yeah, the idea is to have these like tileable thorn texture. And then play a shader that makes it look like they're growing when you establish connections. Or have some kind of like, maybe two different versions of the tiled texture. So we have, when you haven't unlocked two things that are connected to each other, we just have a plain like little dead vine kind of thing. And then I draw some extra detail on a second layer and have a shader reveal that detail when you make the connection. And then also can make it more colorful as well. and then play like a really satisfying vine sound when it unlocks, like a crunchy, like, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what growing vines sounds like in video games, right? Honestly, this is the part that I'm most excited about, is getting this connection effect in place. Okay, well, I'm not going to be able to figure out if this is going to work just by playing around in Aseprite, so let's just go ahead and export this. And then we'll try tiling it with a line 2D in Engine. We'll see how that goes. Good time zone, everyone. Hello, Isbjorn. Welcome back. Hello, Dylan Priv. Welcome. Could make it more lively if leaves and roses when grown. Yeah, that could work. That could work for sure. All right, let's just give this a shot real quick. So we're going to add a line 2D. Blah, blah, blah. Line 2D. Boring, boring, boring. Quick load the texture. Boring. Okay. What is my width? The thing that's a little bit confusing about line 2D is that the width is actually the height. 10. So 10 is the height. Oh, it already says, wait. Maybe I was wrong. Oh, texture mode tile. There we go. It already is 10. Okay, interesting. So we have a problem here, which is that it's not tiling, and that's because I need to set repeat enabled. Texture repeat enabled. There we go. Yeah, so it's a little bit off. What I may do is I may break this part off here and move this over here. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm just going to have to make this. Is that aligned? Well, I guess I can just do Control Shift, Control V. Move this over. Oops. Okay, so remove that part. There we go. So that should tile a little bit nicer. Yes, plat noises. It's time for Game Dev once again. Hello, Jack Daytona. Welcome back. Good to see you. All right, so we've got this tiling now. Good. So here's what I'll do. Let's just create a new node 2D, line 2D. I I'm wondering if I should change my, maybe I'll change my tool script to place these line 2Ds. So, let's call this template line. And yeah, we'll just call that good. Okay. Let's lock this. We'll also lock this. Mark that as a unique name. Okay. Node private line 2D template line. So when I go to draw the lines, we're going to get rid of draw. We're going to get rid of this as well. If engine is editor, hint return. On place lines. So we've got our debug lines here. We don't want to queue a redraw. For each var line in debug lines. Firstly, we want to do, I do want to get a reference to this lines here. Let's call it lines root. I may need additional data here as well, but we're not at that point just yet. Okay, so we got lines root there. Let's do for each var child in lines root dot get children of type if child is equal to line template line, we're just going to continue. Otherwise, we're going to do child.queueFree. Okay. Then for each var line and debug lines, we're going to say var new line is equal to template line.duplicate. We're going to do lines root.add. Let's do new line.owner is equal to engine.edited editor. How do I do the edited scene root? Editor interface dot singleton. Get edited scene root. Lines root dot add child new line. New line dot points. Oh, this has to be as line 2D. New line dot points is equal to let's do 0.1, 0.2 in debug lines, to local 0.1, lines root, to local 0.2. Okay, I think that's correct. Let's build. Hello, Ashwin, welcome. Unlock tree, let's go. How's the tree treating you? It's working. It's working. It needs a lot of work, but it is going. All right, let's see what happens. Well, it placed some lines, but they are not even close to being correct. Also, it didn't add these to the line route. What's the output here? Owner must be ancestor in the tree. Well, can I just say this? I forgot how to set up. If you're trying to add nodes in the editor, it's a little bit weird because you need to set up the owner of the node so it gets saved to the scene. Owner must be an ancestor in the tree. Oh, and maybe I have to set the owner after I add it. There we go. So the lines are appearing now in the tree. They're just in the wrong position now. New line dot global position is equal to 0.1. New line dot points is equal to vector 2.0. New line dot to local 0.2. There we go. I don't know why it wasn't working before, but so let's do this. Template line.visible is equal to false. New line.visible is equal to true. How do you handle the outline effect on interactable objects? I assume it's a shader of some kind, but how do you make it reusable across the project? It's pretty simple. I have a clickable control. This handles all of my click and mouse event stuff, plus a bunch of other things, but it has this outline target, which can be any canvas item. And so basically, whenever something can be outlined, I use a clickable control, and then I configure the outline target, and then it determines when to apply that shader material to the outline target. It also handles, if the outline target is a canvas group or if it's a normal node. So in the case of this is a clickable control. I have the outline target set to frame, so it will actually just apply the outline shader material to this frame when it's able to do that, because there are situations where, like, if the clickable control is disabled, it doesn't show the outline. So it's handling all that stuff from the clickable control though in here. So yeah, that's the gist of it. Okay, so we've got tileable connections between each skill tree node now, which is great. So let's see what this looks like in the unlock menu. Okay, so we're getting there. We are getting there. Does the shader expand the mesh then so it can draw the outline? I believe so. Yeah. It modifies the vertices. It adds margins to the mesh. This outline shader, I got this outline shader from GodotShaders.com. I did modify it slightly for my own needs, but yeah, so it does add margins to the mesh so that there's room for the outline. Well, I mean, I have all the pieces in place now for the unlock system. Like, it's functional. So I guess the next step is just to go all in on it. Is that right? Oops, this should be unlock. Tree connections. Hello, Rin. Welcome back. Good to see you. Trying to think of what I want to do next. I do need to decouple the unlock or the challenges from the unlock items themselves, but I may end up doing that later. Curious on what the design decision on the tree, like, is it going to be something related to things in Alchemortis, like that enhance octopus suction cups? No, it's going to be the way that you unlock content. So you'll get your unlock points from completing what I'm calling challenges right now, and then investing the points in the tree gives you a bunch of new content. So it's basically like, it's the same way as the unlock system kind of works already, but instead of specific challenges unlocking specific things, completing a challenge gives you an unlock point that you can choose what content to unlock after that. So it's a little bit more of like a choose your own adventure in terms of what content you get. But I may also still do some things like unlock an extra inventory row space or something like that, right? Also, maybe the lines are positioned wrong earlier because the duplicated lines position were set to the template lines position. Oh, that's probably true. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, that's almost certainly what was happening. Okay, well, I'm just going to take a quick break here. I need to get a refill of my coffee. I did not get up early this morning, so I'm still a little bit slow. But when I come back, I think we're just going to start going all in on this and like basically just polish it up, add a bunch more unlocks and see how that goes. I do have a bunch of problems to solve though. Like, I don't actually know where to put the unlock tree because, as you'll notice, there's no room for more buttons up here. Right now, I just have it showing when I click item bundles, but that's not accurate, right? So what I may want to do is I may just want to put like the item bundles inside, like as a tab inside of here, maybe. I don't really know. Or I could put these views all together, maybe. So instead of having separate sections for artifacts and characters, I just put them all in one list with headers. So I have like characters at the top and then artifacts, and then item bundles can be in there as well. And that will free up 2 button spaces so I could have the unlock tree and challenges, right? Something like that. Anyway, I'm gonna take a quick 3-minute break and then we will continue on. right, I'm back. Let's see here. So I definitely want to build out the tree some more. Definitely want to build out the tree some more. I also want to work on the visual effects. I need to work on showing the player which skill points they have. Or unlock points, rather. All right, let's build out the tree a little bit more. Let's see. Try to give this a real test. So we've got characters, we've got card packs, artifacts, let me see if this works. So we've got card pack deep sea. Oops. Oh, I hate that. Why does Godot do that now? Anyway. Let's just do unlock tree item. We want to do card pack deep sea. So we'll do card pack deep sea. What else do we want to add? I'm going to need a lot more unlocks as well for this. Let's do artifact noble pedigree. We'll put this here. I probably want to snap these to the grid in some way, but that's all right. We'll not worry about that just yet. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit messy for a second. So we've got the noble pedigree over here. Let's put the phlegm over there. I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm going to change all this, but anyway. So we've got the card pack deep sea as the root. So if I go to my unlock graph, let's clean some of this up a little bit. Let's do private graph node. No, unlock graph node. Node from ID. So this would be, we just want to return this essentially. We want to get rid of all these strings eventually too. So this would be node, yeah, node from ID that. Okay. All right, so now we need to connect all these things together. Automated mapping of resource ID to unlock tree node. That I think is done. And then var I think that's correct. Yeah. Okay. So card pack deep sea, outgoing connections dot add range. We want to add artifact noble pedigree and artifact fleam. Okay. And then for this one, this goes to artifact coals. So artifact noble pedigree goes to artifact coals. Okay. And then this one, artifact fleam goes to artifact cloak. And then we can get rid of this. And then all graph nodes dot add range. So here's what I'm going to do. Instead of doing that here, I'm going to say graph node is equal to that. All graph nodes dot add graph node, and then return graph node. We'll just get rid of this for now. So I don't need this anymore. So anytime I create a node, it will be added to the list of nodes automatically. And then I establish the connections here. So now if I build the game and then I click this button, I should see all the connections working as expected. This new light is so fancy, I like it. It's a good light. There we go. So all those connections are set up. I also have the script set up so that it renames all of these ones. And actually, I should have it reorder them as well, but I won't. I guess I won't do that right now. Okay, so if I turn on the grid, how much space do we have? I guess I can just look at how big this is. This is 412. Let's do 4 pixels and 4 pixels. Okay. It's going to be really hard to determine what the center is, but that's all right. So we've got the makings of a little tree here. Look at that. Excuse me. Hello, Artem. What light do I have? It is... Here, let me look. I think it's the Logitech Litra or something. It was the cheapest streamer light I could find. Yeah, Litra Glow is what it's called. It was only like $50. So that's good because I don't have a whole lot of disposable income. But I think it does make the stream quality, make a difference in the stream quality for sure. Because like, here's what my camera would look like if I didn't have this light. I guess that's not terrible, but you know, this side of my face is not lit properly. But if I put that on, oh my gosh, look at how much more inviting I look. I think those little things, you know, I think a lot of people underestimate how much like the stream presentation matters, because like if you're not lit properly and your audio isn't good, I don't think people are going to stick around for the stream, right? But if everything looks pleasant and inviting and all the sounds are very good and not too harsh, I think people tend to stick around. Love a good tree. Awesome. Thank you, Potril. Yeah, I think this is going to work. The only question I really have now is like, is this actually going to be a compelling experience for the player? But I think so. I mean, I think giving the player some agency about what they want to do or what they want to unlock is good. The other nice thing about this too is that this allows me to more easily support unlocks that aren't specifically content. So for example, if I wanted to make it so that way, I don't think I'm going to do this, but this is just an example of what I'm talking about. Let's say that I just wanted to give the player an option in here to increase the starting health of every character by like 5, right? I could do that easily in here. With the previous unlock system, that would not have been something that was like doable because all the unlocks were assumed to be content. But now in the tree, you know, there are other things that I can do, and you know, I could even do things like this could be my lore delivery system as well, right? Like there could be little bits of lore that you get for everything that you unlock. So like I could attach a piece of lore to each unlock and then just give that to the player. That'd be a very nice way of like slowly revealing the story or the world as you progress. A little bit of extra incentive for the people who are interested in the lore as well to like finish the game and like unlock everything, right? So like there's a lot of different things I can do with this kind of presentation. Plus it gives the player more of a choice. I think this is going to mostly eliminate the problem of like people just unlocking stuff and not really paying attention to what's unlocked. You're still going to get skill points probably unintentionally or unlock points unintentionally because like you'll just complete a challenge that you weren't even trying to complete. But then when you've got the unlock point, then you go to the tree and you think about, okay, what do I want to unlock? You know what I mean? So I think it will work, but hard to say. It's hard to say exactly, but also, I think like the other thing I like about this approach is that it gives me more control over the pacing. So for the various character unlocks, I can put those deeper in the tree, right? So I could basically say, you know, you require a certain amount of unlock points to get to this character. So yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of, I don't know, kind of procrastinating, I guess. I just don't know. I don't know where my effort would be best spent at this point. I kind of really do want to work on the visuals. I just don't know. Don't know if that's ideal. Are you planning to allow the player to disable certain item bundles from appearing during runs? Someone often find myself wanting to play a game like as when I first started playing. I don't think so. Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Probably not, but yeah, we'll have to see. Now, the problem with this highlighting is that I need to make it so that way it looks okay however it's rotated. So that might be a little bit tricky, actually. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We're just doing some art for the vines. Try to make it look more winding. Probably will want to do the same thing here. Can I tile this? Let's see. Okay. Let me do this. View, tiled mode, tiled in x-axis. Actually, I probably want to increase the depth here. And there as well. That's probably okay. This section looks a little bit not shaded well. Let's see how that looks. Okay, I think that's probably okay. We want to chop the left and right outlines off of it though. And this may have also increased in size. So let's see. Oops. This is now 14. So I need to update that as well. So let's go ahead and do, let's just call this connection again. Export these layers. Have you ever worked on a team for a game, or do you always work solo? I've done like game jams with my friend, so a team of 2, but mostly all of my projects are solo. I would say the vast majority of my projects are solo. Okay, so this template line, this needs to be 14 now. There we go. Okay, draw lines. Boom. Look at that. Them's thick boys. Them's is thick boys. I probably also want to unlock tree item. Probably going to want to give this a thicker outline, and then this one as well. And I'm also going to round off. Yeah, let's just round this off a little bit. Hello, O Pacheco, welcome. What's up with the new unlock tree? It's just a new way of acquiring unlocks, that's all. We'll see how it goes. The goal is to give players a little bit more agency about what they unlock, but also... Oops, something happened. Oh. Oh, son of a biscuit. There we go. The goal is to give players some more agency over what they unlock. Make it a little bit more interesting. Make the progression a little bit more, what's the word? Intentional, I guess. So yeah, we'll see. I'm divided between using GD script or C#. Can you tell me why you use C#, please? Just personal preference. That's it. There's no deeper reason. There's no secret. It's just I feel like I can be more productive and design better systems with C# than GD script. That's it. But welcome, Ricardo. Good to see you. Do I have any tips for getting into or learning pixel art? Yeah, I have a video on this channel on YouTube, so you're on Twitch, but if you head over to my YouTube channel, or I'm also streaming, by the way, I have a video called How to Get Good at Pixel Art with No Skill, and that video contains 5 of the tips that I learned that made the most difference the most quickly in the quality of my pixel art. So it's not, you know, I don't promise that you'll become amazing at pixel art, but you know, like anything, like any skill, there are like a fundamental set of things that once you learn them, like the quality of your work goes up substantially. And so that video contains those things, right? It's like, here are the things you should keep in mind to kickstart your learning process. And yeah, those are the things that when I learned them and I applied them, my pixel art became noticeably better. So yeah, I would check that out, check that video out if you're interested. The other thing I would say is just, yeah, there's all kinds of resources on YouTube. So I would look into, you know, how to choose colors properly, color theory. I watched a lot of videos from Pixel Pete. He does a series of videos where he does critiques of pixel art. So he takes viewer submitted pixel art and he comments on it and adjusts it based on his own experience as a professional artist. And that was really helpful because being able to see somebody else's art and then see what a professional made comments about, like how to place these pixels and like how to clean up the colors and everything, just watching that and absorbing those lessons was really, really helpful. Yeah, there's all kinds of great resources on YouTube. The main thing is like you have to put a lot of effort into actually like studying it. Like you have to observe pixel art and like take mental notes of like why that pixel art looks effective. Like how are the pixels being placed? How are the colors being used? How are the shapes being represented? Like putting in a lot of like conscientious effort into actually breaking down pixel art and looking at it and studying it and seeing what about a piece of art works really well and how did the artist get that to work is also really helpful. So yeah, it's a skill like any other. You know, it's you can learn it. You can become effective in it. Have you tried GDScript before or always C#? Yes, I've used GDScript. Almost all of my Game Jam games are written in GDScript as well. Like, GDScript is a perfectly capable language. I think it's fine. I actually really like writing games in GDScript as of Godot 4. GDScript is actually just really fun to work with. The problem is, because it doesn't have, or it used to not have, things like proper abstract classes, and because it doesn't have things like interfaces, designing a game with the complexity of Alka Mortis using GDScript, I think would have been difficult, for me at least. So all of the structure that C# gives you and all the tools that C# gives you was just more appealing for this game. Found it. Thanks. You're welcome. I think one of my favorite things of your art style is you make connection, has how you make connection in the art darker. Like, if a head is connected to the body, it'll have a darker connecting point, making things stand out. Yeah, that's been something that I've been trying to do as well. Like, I haven't done this. I haven't done a great job of this in a lot of my art, but yeah, using the shadows as a way of separating out different pieces of the art, that works really well. It's just I have to. That's one of those things where I have to make a conscious effort to remember to do that. So I did that, you know, for example. I gotta go all through here. So for example, the mushroom here, right? The mushroom has a lot of like just pure black spots, right? And it's hard, at least it's hard for me to remember to do that, because when you're drawing pixel art, you're so focused on like actually drawing the shape that you're trying to represent that you don't think enough about how you can actually leave stuff empty, right? How you could just like imply the shape and otherwise keep it dark, or I don't know what the word is to say, is like keep it in shadow, right? That is because like when you're drawing something, your impulse is like, I need to place pixels on the screen to give this item the shape that I want. But that's not always the case. Like, you can use the suggestion of a shape to get what you want, to get the effect that you want. And that is something that I've had a really hard time like internalizing that lesson. It's like the implication of a shape sometimes is like exactly what your art needs, and that's it, right? I'm trying to think, where is that? Yeah, here. I'm gonna try not to save this. But see, like this whole left side of the mushroom, there's nothing here. It's pure black, right? But by using like just a very light suggestion up here with these pixels of some kind of shape, and then just kind of like fading out this section, like your mind kind of fills in the gap. Like, yeah, there's something here. Like the mushroom is basically symmetrical, right? Like this pointed part is over here as well. It's just in shadow, right? And the same deal here. Like, I know that the mushroom cap goes behind the stem, even though this whole section right here is empty, you know? And then here, like, this doesn't read as like a chunk taken out of the mushroom. This reads as like a dark part of the stem, right? So yeah, that is something that's really, really important to think about too, is that sometimes you actually don't need to place pixels to make the art feel coherent. But that is a really hard lesson to learn, because your impulse is to place pixels when you want to draw something. Adam C. Eunice has a ton of content on pixel art. Highly recommend. Yes, he's great too. Do you think there's a big difference in performance between C# and GDScript? No, there isn't. There are very specific and particular instances where doing some code in GDScript would be much slower than doing some code in C#. But as a general rule, C# doesn't give you any performance advantages just automatically. And the reason for that is because whatever gains you get from the C# code are basically erased by the fact that the C# code has to interface with the engine code, right? So when you call an engine API, that has to go through the C# layer to the C++ layer, which involves like marshalling and unmarshalling data. And then the C++ layer has to do the logic and then return all that data back to the C# layer. And that's sort of like round trip because you're going from, the C# bindings to the C++ layer. That round trip incurs a certain cost, which basically erases any performance gains you would get by just using C#. It's still fast. I'm not saying that it's slow. I'm just saying that you don't just get free performance by choosing C#. Now, if you do something in your game that stays purely on the C# layer and does not interface with the Godot API at all, then yeah, you will see massive performance gains in that situation compared to writing the equivalent code in GDScript. But those situations are few and far between. For the most part, like 90% of the time, you're going to be utilizing the Godot APIs to make things happen in your game. And so it's kind of a wash, right? So yeah, you don't get free performance by choosing C#. It's highly contextual based on what you're doing. And most people are going to make games where the performance concern isn't even going to exist anyway. So like if you're just making a 2D game, you're probably not going to hit very many situations where your performance is going to be affected by what code you've written and not something else, right? It's apparent in the man-eating wasp. Pixel art is amazing to use the human mind to fill the gaps. Is it unlocked tree time yet? Yeah, I'm procrastinating again. I don't know. I don't feel particularly energetic today for whatever reason, but we're going to power through it anyway. I hope I didn't delete something that I needed. Oh no, okay. You're welcome. You are welcome. I think performance actually falls a bit using C# if it's a heavy physics-based game, but I could be wrong. Yeah, that's entirely possible. But, yeah. Okay, anyway, what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, I might as well just put some effort into making this visually appealing, I suppose. Yeah, so let's do this. Let me look at... Let me look at my save file here. Let's just clear this out. Okay, so we just clear that out. Let's just work on some of the visuals here because that all needs to be done at some point. Refresh state. Let's create another sprite 2D in here. And this is going to be frame selected. Okay, turn off the offset. Okay. Oh my gosh, I can't type. Do I really want to do this? Let's see. I'm going to try not to reach into this unlock model. Try to go through the unlocks manager for this stuff. So we'll do is unlocks manager, is tree item unlocked, unlock resource ID, not is unlocked. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about this actually, but that's okay. Let's just get rid of this for now. Frame.visible is equal to not is unlocked. Okay. Maybe I will just put this condition in here. I don't think I want to do this though, because this is going to make it like an invalid click. I think what I should probably do actually is we'll just do a no op if it's already unlocked when we click it. And also, I'm going to skip the save for now. Yeah, I'm going to skip the save for now so I don't have to keep clearing my save file. Hello, Ninja Link. Welcome back. Good to see you. How are things going with you? There we go. Why is that becoming not clickable now? I was not expecting that to happen. Oh. Oh. We want to use the parent material here and then mark these as unique name. And then also change this unlock target to, or the outline target rather, to frame. I don't know why that broke. Okay. Hiring people to make your art is hella expensive. That is true, yeah. Okay, so we've got the frames lighting up now when I've unlocked these things. And now if I'm not mistaken, if I save this, that should automatically work. So this is going to be a little bit, I'm going to have to add in a bunch of visual effects and stuff to this, but if I do this and I do that, and then I close the game and I reload, those should already be visible. Yeah, so those are saving their unlocked state there, which is good. I think I want to brighten up the vines as well when that happens. Let me think about this. I mean, we might as well just give that a shot. So things are going well here. Just got home from taking the kids to the park this morning. Very nice. Yeah, sounds like a good morning. Sounds like a good morning indeed. Okay. So there's a specific visual effect that I have in mind for this, which I mentioned a little bit earlier. It may be a little bit difficult to do, but we're going to give it a shot. Firstly, I am going to just fill some of this in, because I don't want it to be pure purple. Like, I still want some shading to be happening here. Okay. Good. That seems okay to me. Maybe I'll just do something like that. Yeah, that seems fine. But the other thing that I want to do is I want to experiment with adding little leaves if possible, which actually is going to be a little bit annoying because it's going to change the line width, but maybe that's not such a big problem. Maybe that's not such a big problem. Okay, here. Well, these leaves don't look super good, but that's okay. This one is too big, I think. Yeah. We'll just cut that one down. I have a really cool idea for this, but I have no idea if it's going to work. But we're going to give it a shot, by golly. We're going to give it a shot. Okay. Maybe we'll do one in here. Okay, I think I could do a little bit of a better job on the shading and whatnot, but son of a biscuit. Grab this. Okay. So, yeah, so that's the brightened version of the connection. Selected leaves. New group. Let's just do... I forgot how to freaking... Control-Alt-Shift-S. Okay. Selection, selected layers, export. Okay. Why do you do that, Godot? Stop opening VS Code. It's the only thing that makes 4.7 annoying is that. Okay. Template line selected. I don't know how, oops. I don't know exactly how I want to do this. This is 15. Oh, it's not quite aligned correctly. That's a bit of a bummer. Oh, I forgot to outline the leaves. All right, I guess we'll do that. This is 16 now. Why is it still off? Is it because this one is... No? Why is it still off? I might have to shift the texture. The idea is that these selected lines will just be laid right over top of the other line, and then I'll play an animation to like reveal it along the path. And it should hopefully look like the things are like sprouting and growing, maybe. I don't know, we'll have to check that out. We'll have to see if that works, but anyway, planning on creating unique icons for every unlocked node now. Probably not. I think I'll just use whatever the icon is of the thing that is being unlocked. Maybe I will do unique icons if that doesn't work, but it should work. I'm going to scalp you. Will you be able to defend yourself? If one man is on a mission to scalp you, would you be able to defend yourself from him? I think so. I think it would be rather trivial to do that. This is the United States of America after all. Welcome, Legends of Next Year, by the way. What are your go-to with picking right pixels for MC or tiles? What are my go-to with picking right pixels? I don't know what MC means. Main character or tiles? And are you talking about the pixel density? Like what the pixel canvas size is? If you want to elaborate on your question, I can answer it. Is there any release date for the game? Yeah, well, we don't have a release date set in stone. The ideal release date is before the end of the year, but we will have to see how everything goes. I think it should be doable. You know, we're a little over halfway through the year now. So if you figure at most 5 months to make the game, to finish the game, really all I have to do is polish and content at this point. Polish, content, and balance. All of the major features are done. So I think it should be doable. I think it should be doable to add like a couple dozen more artifacts, maybe 150 to 200 new items, maybe like 2 or 3 new characters. And I also want to think about doing lore as well. It should be doable though. I think all the hard pieces of the game are finished, and now it's just a matter of like refining everything. Hello, Amir, welcome. I have trouble with, can't decide what the size of the canvas is good with a character or tiles or vice versa. So what I usually do is I start with the screen size that I want. So in this case, 640 by 360. And then what I do is I go into Aseprite, I create a canvas with that size, and then I just draw, I do art mock-ups first. So in the case of Gunforged, I basically said, here's my canvas size. Now I'm going to draw a character. And I just drew a character that I felt fit the screen well, right? Like, basically drawing the character in relation to the screen size or how much space the character takes up on screen. And then I just went from there. So found a good size for the character, said, okay, I'm comfortable with how that looks in the screen. And then basically drew everything else in relation to the character, right? So setting up like these relative measurements of like, what does the character look like on screen? That looks good. Now I'm going to draw every entity and the tiles and everything with the character size in mind. And I find that works really well for me. I've never found it useful to say, well, I have this canvas size, but I'm going to make everything fit into 16 by 16. Like, that almost feels backwards to me. It feels like you should draw things for the screen first, and then you can draw everything else in relation to everything else, right? If that makes sense. What did I miss? Not much. We're just working on the unlock tree here. Okay. Okay, well, we're approaching 2 hours on the stream, so I'm actually going to end the stream there, but I'll continue working on this afternoon, and maybe I will also do another bonus stream this afternoon, so keep an eye on the Discord if you want to be notified when I go live again. You can wishlist Alchemortis on Steam. The link for that is in the description below. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your support. Join the Discord to keep up to date with everything. And yeah, hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. All right. Bye-bye for now.